9 weeks ago, we watched as our students disappeared from our campuses. Education was not going to be immune to the effects of COVID-19. Ever since then, we've been in a mad scramble to move face-to-face classes to some sort of remote learning. To some extent, there's been some success, but not without a fair share of headache, compromise, and inspiration. One thing that many of us who are in this paradigm shift have experienced are the different phases as we move to bring our classes into an online environment. Triage, the sorting of and allocation of treatment to patients, and especially battle and disaster victims, according to a system of priorities designed to maximize the number of survivors. What a perfect description of our first few days of experience. We had to get something online. Some of us had used the LMS that the Institute provided, and some of us hadn't. Some of us had resources, and some of us didn't. So as a group, we decided that we needed to quickly get some videos up. We needed to get some of our instructors online into a live session, and we had to cobble something together that vaguely resembled an education. We were in crisis response, and we had to prioritize items. What was important and what wasn't. For us, this turned into making sure we had worksheets for our students, videos for them to watch, and some sort of live office hours for them to watch examples and ask questions. And while I do think that it is possible to teach a course in this manner, I don't think it's sustainable. Our students were getting frustrated, and we discovered soon that face-to-face teaching does not translate beat to beat to an online space. So this took us to the next phase. Collection, an accumulation of objects gathered for study, comparison, or exhibition. We needed to revamp our system. We needed a way to take the resources we had and make them online friendly. So at this point, we made the decision to teach as a team. We took 9 instructors and 154 students and put them together as one class. We designated certain instructors for certain tasks, and we started collecting all of our combined resources and tried to make sense of how to make them tools for the online world. We used our LMS and just started dumping all of our worksheets and PowerPoints into the course shell. There was minimal organization, and we let the students have access. As we progressed, we started figuring out how to organize and how to make it work for our students. How could we give them the materials they needed to supplement the live lessons they received every day? Again, this level may be sustainable for a time to teach, but we soon discovered that something was missing. The student's voice. How could they reach out to us, and how could we respond back to them? How could they receive the help they needed? How could they ask the questions they needed help with? How could we pass on information about tests, etiquette, upcoming events? We found ourselves moving to the next phase. Engage, to come together and interlock. We needed methods of engagement, not just for students, but also with each other. We needed to pass information back and forth. We needed places to discuss resources and student issues. Our students needed a place to ask questions and receive information. This is an ongoing issue for us, and while we've gotten it to a manageable area, there's still much more work to do. Engagement is hard enough in a face-to-face classroom. It becomes more difficult in a space where you physically cannot see your students. Some things that work for us: twice daily we have a check-in session. All the instructors meet on Zoom to discuss the issues that are coming up in the morning session and the issues that they ran into during the day in the afternoon session. We set up a Slack group where we share information with each other in real time and chat with each other. For our students, we opened up the discussion forums in the LMS and had a forum for each topic. We assigned certain students to cohorts and had instructors monitor the cohorts and discussion boards. This was challenging and continues to be so. Our motto soon had to become, "No student post goes unanswered." We not only receive questions, but we also have students sharing stories and struggles with us. This space somehow needs to be treated not only as a place to ask questions, but as a safe place to share. It was at this phase that we started trying to think of ways we could make the learning experience better for the students. We started asking them what we could do. This took us to the next phase. Design, a particular purpose or intention held in view by an individual or group. Now I know it's been said over and over, and at this point seems almost cliche to say it, but online education is different than face-to-face. There's nuances in how we can engage. We cannot go up and down the aisles of our classroom asking how they're doing. We can't pull our students aside and ask if everything's okay. Now, this is not a bad thing, it's just different. It's just a completely different medium, and therefore it needs to be designed completely differently. We discovered right away that running 3 to 6 hour video feeds of teaching was not going to work. We were going to lose our students. We needed to think about how we could hit the learning outcomes without watching our students drift off into the ether and fall asleep. We learned that our students needed bite-sized, manageable information. There have been studies that have shown that retention rates for educational videos on YouTube drop significantly after 10 minutes. So we started recording PowerPoints that were maximum 10 minutes. We used explainer videos to help address the harder problems. We made them available all the time and let the students know they existed and how to use them. We created a daily schedule for our students that hyperlinked to all these resources so that they don't have to go looking into the LMS to find the information they need. They just need to go to the daily schedule and click their way through. We started designing practice review tests so that our students could practice exams that were in similar format to the actual summative exams. We provided an instructor online just to answer questions about worksheets and problems, an online tutor available so that students could jump in and out quickly to get their questions answered. Up until this phase, we were reactive. Problems happened and we solved them, moved on to the next problems. In this design phase, we found that we're able to be much more proactive. Now as the course starts to wind down, we find ourselves asking what's next. We know that we're going to be doing this again next Monday, so we met and we talked about what worked and what didn't and how to make this next go around better. This design phase, it's never going to be complete. It's going to be ongoing, collaborative, fluid, and exciting. And yes, it's going to be frustrating at times. There's going to be debates, arguments, and problems. That basically describes our past 9 weeks. But I truly believe that by going through these phases with the team, I am a better educator for it. I also know that our students are better for it as well. And isn't that why we do this?